friends, welcome back everyone, welcome back to the semi-finals of the Sparkling Tuna Cup number 114. That's a lot of weeks, Pappy, that's a lot of tunas, and we have our first semi-finals here. We have our top four facing off, and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Winter Madness, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have one of the best players, one of the best Protoss players in the world, representing Virtus Pro. It is Classic. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have the red Terran player. With the red Terran player himself, it is Percival. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as we get into our PvT. And Percival moves out early on for the eBay block, but alas, he will not be spotted, just barely. He does hug the edge of the map. He does avoid the probe scout, and he will come in with the eBay block. Not bad. Not bad whatsoever. With this, a Classic will be forced to expand at the unnatural natural, so a really rough start here for Classic, and Percival can react with something more aggressive. Getting into this, of course, again, Classic, he's one of the best Protoss players in the world. He is the highest rated player and the favorite to win the entire tournament. But if you remember, last week during the Tuna Cup, during the monthly November finals, Classic did actually lose in the first round to Cristiano. It was a crazy result, a crazy upset. Again, I highly recommend the VOD. I highly recommend tuning into the VODs of last week's tournaments, because every Korean went down in the first round. It was crazy. Percival got knocked out in the quarterfinals. Classic got knocked out in the quarterfinals. Nightmare got knocked out. Beyond got knocked out. It was an all EU tournament. It was crazy. No, without trying to have like Korea versus EU throughout the entire events, but yeah, EU was looking good last week, but this time Korea gets its revenge. We have Percival and Classic facing off. We have a Korean confirmed for the finals, which will make it through. We're here to find out. Already we see Classic expanding here at the linear location, a much more exposed base here for Classic. Much more exposed, and Percival, he can punish this. He can try to punish. Reaper moves out. Classic is going to be spread thin. Behind this, Percival expanding on the high ground, going for a CC here in his main, playing safe. He's playing this out safe. When it comes to Percival, of course, Percival, he has been rising in strength and rising in skill quite quickly and quite consistently throughout the course of 2025. I would say that he is the rising star of this year. Shameless was the rising star for 2024, but for 2025, at Percival, he has just achieved so much in such a short period of time. It's been crazy to see his growth over the course of the last 12 months. To the point where he can take it to players like Classic. I would not say he's favored. I would not go that far, of course, but I would say that he can take maps and he can take series on a good day. For now, Twilight Council. Twilight Council open out to Classic, headed towards Blink. Stalkers, they poke in, they deny the bunker. Uh-oh, yeah, bunker is denied. Marines are going down, boys are being pulled, things are getting desperate. Yeah, chaotic defense here by Percival as he will lose more CVs. There's a cancellation. Widowmine does borrow, but we just ignore the mine. Nice control, shuffling back his units. Oh, this is getting out of hand. 5, 6 SCVs, 0 mining at the natural. Reaper tried to harass, but last back at home, there's a shield battery. In the end, the Classic does defend. And this is too much. Oh my god. Again, just 2 Stalkers, Pappy, and unfortunately the bunker was too late. The Widowmine was too delayed. And yeah, Percival just cannot mine. Just cannot mine until his Cyclone arrives. Moves down to the low ground, okay. Just chase down the Stalker. Nicely done. Nice control there by Percival. Locks down one of the Stalkers and finally can go back to mining. Can go back in. But still a very messy start here for Percival. Yes, he did force the awkward expansion, but in the follow-up, he lost 6 SCVs. I was going for the drop. Classic rushing into a very fast third base. It is going to be 3 gates. So 3 gate blink into the third. Medevac gets spotted. Boost is on cooldown. Does he get it? Oh, barely not. Whew. Barely does get away. Widowmine shot goes off, no reaction. Classic. He's being pulled apart. 8 probe kills. 8 probes go down, but the Stalkers, they shut down the drop. That medevac did actually fall, so back and forth. On the one hand, Classic, he will lose a lot of workers. At the same time, though, Percival, he lost the medevac, he lost the Cyclone, he lost his Marines. So Water Mine is still out there. Classic is moving out. We'll see when and if the Water Mine does water back in. Remember, Blink is done. Chipping away at the bunker. Boys are late to be pulled. Getting 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, 3 SCVs. Bunker does fall. Nice tank shot. Nice tank volleys. Percival, he's holding on. Water Mine doesn't get into the mineral line. Doesn't get in this time. But it's been a very intense game. It's been very intense, very back and forth. Initially, Percival, he lost 6 SCVs. At the same time, he killed 8 probes. Had that back and forth. Yo, meanwhile, big shout out to Swaguts in the chat, papi. Swaguts. Thanks so much for subscribing for how many? For also 8 months. Ah, there you go. Also 8 months in the chat. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoy the content, the casting, and the StarCraft. Thank you so much. As we're kind of nearing the end of the broadcast, we're in the semis. Bearing in mind we have both semifinals yet to cover and the grand finals as well. So 3 series left. As the game is slowing down, we're calming things down. Classic, he's taking his third base, he's taking his gateways, Forge on the way for +1, and more importantly, Colossus production, not Storm. He's opening up Colossi. At the same time, Percival is getting his third TC, so we're building up into a longer game state. No all-ins, no 2-base play. Up! Hope the observer gets sniped. Observer sniped. Despite the fact that we are building up towards the mid-game, we do still see that Percival is going for drop play. He's hunting for damage. Trying to catch out the Stalkers. We can see the Classic does only leave 1 in position. Classic is zoned away. And again, Percival, he fails to catch the Stalkers. They were already back home. Now, when it comes to Winter Madness, we spoke about this previously. This is probably the most offensive map in the map pool and the best map to try to build up on 3 and 4 bases. But Percival, he's actually moving out. He's getting caught on siege. Yeah, tanks late to siege. 1 tank goes down easily. He gets 1. He gets both tanks. Both tanks are down. Mine shots, they do pop off. Oh my god. Decent connections, but alas, Percival, he will lose everything here. Marauders are locked down. Better engage here for Classic. Percival caught with his pants down. And he barely escapes with anything left. He has 3 medevacs, a couple of Marines. Again, unfortunately, he was just caught unsieged. He got maybe 1 tank shot off. Just 1. And with that, he will lose the third. He'll lose control of his third base. We're just rallying across the map. Classic is going for the kill. Oh my god. Yeah, blinks forward. Zealots have arrived. GG gets caught, and Classic will overwhelm the third base. He will take a lead in the series. GG. Whew. GG, well played. We'll take a lead here. Again, Percival, he had a couple of options to him. He did commit to a move out, did commit to a push. Thankfully, if you remember, he did kill the Observer previously. So he killed the Observer, he zoned away the Stalker. He was able to minimize vision from Classic, but he was still caught out nonetheless, losing both tanks, 1 without getting a shot off, the other got maybe 1 shot off, if that. He's caught with his pants down. GG. GG, well played. With that, we're now getting into game number 2. We're loading into Ruby Rock. We go from one of the larger, more defensive maps in the map pool to one of the smaller, more aggressive maps instead. Let's go. This is where something like 2-base all-ins are more viable. They're a lot more viable here, so we could see Percival be a lot more aggressive and to try to gain momentum and try to bring it back. Let's go. Let us go. ¿Dónde están los pantalones, papi? No. Se fueron, papi. Se fueron. ¿A dónde están? As spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have our South Korean Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss representing Virtus Pro, leading the series 1-0. It is a Classic. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the South Korean Terran player. We have the red Terran down in the series. We'll see if he can bounce back and force the ace match. The pressure is on. It is Percival. Go. Seems that even things up a little bit, but losing the medevac, the medevac dying is oof. Yeah. It was one of those things where Percival he was able to get 8 probe kills, which was nice, but he still lost the medevac. He still lost the cyclone. It was a very chaotic early game in game number 1, and in the end, Classic was able to establish himself on 3 bases and of course catch the army. But now we're getting into game 2. Once again, welcome to Ruby Rock. Ruby Rock does have a more open 3rd and more open 4th expansion as well. So, as we mentioned before, the Russian spike ground is shorter on this map compared to Winter Madness. If the Terran player wanted to be more active and aggressive and chaotic on 2 bases, it is a much more viable option here on Ruby Rock. So, eyes are on Percival. For now, we can see Percival going for a single gas opener, going for a Rax expand, a faster CC. It's going to be a little bit off-center, but he can always lift, always land. A much greedier build this time from the Terran. This also tells Classic no, of course, of the early CC timing. He knows he is safe early on, and he can also start to cut some corners. Now, just because the opener is more economic doesn't mean that we're going into a longer macro game. Not at all. Just an economic start can still lead to an aggressive follow-up. Now the Reaper does move out. It is going to be a Twilight counter opener at a Classic. I should say, can still lead into an aggressive mid-game is maybe a better way of putting it. As this time we have a much earlier bunker. If you recall, last game was a later bunker, a later defensive setup, and he was punished for it. That's one of the reasons why 6 SCVs went down, but this time he is ready. Bunker is done. The Adept can shade behind the mineral line. Gets in and oh, doesn't quite get an SCV. Nice body blocking. Getting 1 Marine. Ooh, just the 1. So nice defense here by Percival. He defends, he deflects, and behind this going for his own 1-1-1. You can see he's not making any Reapers. He is going into Marine production, so there's no reactive Reaper Hellion. The Hellions are here, but they should just be for scouting. Just a scout. Likewise, we'll keep an eye on the gateway count. That is the 2nd gateway on the way for a Classic. Currently 2-gate blink, playing a safe, going for the Robo on 2 bases as well. It is not uncommon to see a Protoss player delay their Robo, go for a faster 3rd base, but that's typically done on larger maps. Would be crazy to do here. Would be crazy. As we're going for the early drop. Okay, I was curious. Going for the medevac, moving out early on. We have some light Hellion Reaper aggression towards one side, and we have the Marine drop on the other. Let's go. So bring it all together. Classic does expand, I believe, on 2. Yeah, on 2 gateways. So 2-gate opener into a faster 3rd base. Classic is cutting corners. Being a little bit greedier this time. Okay, Hellion towards the natural. Marine drop into the main base. Can he get into the mineral line? He's going for it. He's going for the dive. Up! Probes are lined up for a moment. He gets 2. 2 probes go down. Oof. He's going to be zoned away, though. He's going to be forced out at the same time. Marines are dropping to the main base, going for the Artosis pylon. Can he get the pylon? Oh, not quite. Classic, he defends. 3 probes go down. Haley's there. Oh my god, they get back in. They're lighting up. Probes are lighting up. 10 probe kills, 12 probes. GG gets called critical damage. And Percival, he will tap the series 1-1. GG. Ay, ay, ay. GG, well played. Remember, it takes 3 Hellions. 3 Hellions to one-shot a worker. Towards the end, there were only 2 Hellions left, but there were 2 shotting. Workers were lining up. Classic, he was caught with his pants down, was pulled apart, and that's game. that is game then and there. Bearing in mind that, remember, Classic was also cutting corners. He went for one less gateway, and he went for an earlier third. That meant he had less stalkers, he had less gateway units on the ground, so a bit of a more difficult defense there for Classic. Could have still reacted and pulled and split his workers, but he was otherwise distracted by the main base. GG. GG, well played. And with that, we're going to game 3. Spawning in the top left-hand corner of Title Citadel, we have the South Green Protoss player. We have the Blue Protoss representing Protoss Pro, being forced into the ace match. Can he bring it back? It is Classic. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Terran player, the South Korean Terran. Momentum is on his side. Just look at the game. Can he take 2 in a row? It is Percival. Here we go. And again, that wasn't meant to end the game. The game was meant to continue from there, but that many losses that early on is a game-ending damage. We talk about this all the time, but when it comes to early damage, you don't really have many workers to begin with. So to lose 12 plus probes at the beginning of the game, that is brutal damage. One more mistake, one small misstep, and you can end the game here. Whether it's Hellion Harass, whether it's Water Mine drops as well. Isn't meant to, but has potential to deal critical damage. And we'll see if we can recover. Pros can't take damage early, not like that. I mean, I would say that's applicable to Terran and Zerg as well. Like, if you're losing 12 workers that early on, I mean, that is kind of game-winning damage here for both Protoss, Terran, and Zerg, all 3 races. Bearing in mind that there was still like some more Hellion shots available as well. But here we go. Once again, we do see Classic force the base a little bit off center. Does force it off center. So a nice little win here for Classic. Hello. Okay, just scanning. I was like, what's going on? Just taking the goal base before moving out as we settle in. No shenanigans, man. And welcome to Title Citadel. Title Citadel is a larger map of the map pool, but as we mentioned in the GG Machine series, it is a very wide, a very spread out map. The bases themselves are very spread out, so trying to be a defending player and trying to keep up with aggressive rotations at your 3rd, your 4th, your 5th base can be very difficult here on Title. But that's more applicable to the mid game. Is more applicable to the mid game, and we haven't gotten there yet. So far, to be honest, these 2 games have been quite fast. We have yet to embrace a 3 base economy, not properly, not yet. We'll see if we get there this time. Percival's getting into his own 1-1-1. If you recall, last game it was Reactor Marine Hellion. This time Reactor Marine Water Mine drop. So Water Mine drop opener here out of Percival. It is less committed. It has potential for damage, of course, but Classic should be able to keep up. Should be able to react. Let's see, Water Mines are amassing. And the drop will soon be on the way. Once again, I believe 2-gate. Yep, so 2-gate blink into a 3rd base. You can see that Classic's actually being greedier this time. Last game, he went for a robo before expanding. This time, it's going to be an expansion before the robo. So, again, Classic, this is the greediest build you can really go for. Viably so. 2-gate into a 3rd. So 2-gate blink into 3rd base. Classic is cutting corners. This means that Immortal production is going to be more delayed, Observers are delayed, Stalker count is going to be lower. It does mean that he is vulnerable to a 2-base all-in, and we'll see if Percival does go for one. Now we have a mine drop. Classic does react. Classic pulls away. Catching on the medevac. Nice catch. Medevac goes down, and the Wooden Wands, there's no way out. There's no way out. They're going to get maybe one probe. Oh, blinks in, gets a Stalker. Not bad. Takes down one of the Stalkers. There's still one mine shot left. Oh, Jesus. Calm down, calm down. Okay, one Stalker goes down, and we do get the cleanup here. I would say a slightly better trade for, better trade for Classic. Did lose a Stalker, but he killed the medevac, if you recall. He did kill the medevac. Oh, shout out to the Moopies. Beautiful. So Classic defends well. And behind this, we do see Percival going into early stim. So stim is halfway done. Because we're prioritizing stim so heavily here, and we didn't go for, say, like a Raven, oh, my apologies. We didn't go for like a Raven follow-up or a Banshee follow-up. Really early stim, heavy Marine production here. We are not going for a 2-base all-in. Third CC is on the way. Okay, going for a third base. With early stim, though, that does mean that it's going to give a little bit more power here to this drop. So the drop play to the Marines, to the buyer. He doesn't wait for stim, though. He's going in. Quick reaction. Classic, he reacts well. Lose one probe. Oh. It's just the one. Medevac taking a lot of damage. Yeah, barely does not get away. Medevac goes down. And it's going to be a dead drop here. He does go for the workers. 5 probes go down. Does get some value for this. Gets 5 probes. Get some value, get some damage. And from here, we're building up. Classic is yet to invest into any splash damage, going for charge first. Charge +1, Mass Gateway Army. A lot of people still playing this with their hands, Pappy, with their hands. It's crazy. Ooh, and this is what is dangerous about Title Citadel. I was going to bring this up, but if the game slows down and if we get into a longer macro game, the problem here with certain maps is that we have maps with high yield gas geysers or high yield mineral patches, so whoever has map control will have a greater advantage here. So Classic has map control, taking his 4th base, rushing to the gold, and Percival is going to be, or should be, stuck at home. Say that, going for his move out. Runs into the Zealot army. Some Classic to slow this down. Gold base is spotted. He's aware. So quite a nice setup here by Percival. It kites back, shuts down the Zealots. Percival does hold. And he's holding on. We have more Zealots on the way. Classic trying to commit in. But again, it doesn't quite have the army for this. Bleeding out a lot of Stalkers. Yeah, Stalkers going down. Zealots being bleeding off as well. And a much better engage here for the Terran. You can see Classic plummet in supply. And sure, he's getting his gold, but it's not up and running yet. Doesn't have his gold base. Percival has momentum. Classic is in trouble. And Percival is headed for the gold. He's headed for the gold expansion. Oh. Lose the medevac. We got the backstab. Oh no! Oh my god, we had the backstab coming in, but Percival, he defends back at home. He attacks across the map, and Classic, he is in so much trouble here. He's trying to buy some time. Percival, he just wants the 4th, and he should get it. He should get it. And again, there's no danger of a backstab, of a counterattack. Zealots they trickle in. Tanks are sieged. And Stalkers, they get punished. Yeah, Stalkers will be punished here. Ay, ay, ay. You can see he's trying to force friendly fire. Okay, Zealots take him in from behind. Let's go. Comes in from behind, does catch every single tank. Better engage towards the end. And Percival, he has to make a choice. Either reinforce his position or counterattack. He's going for the backstab. He's going for the backstab instead. He's going straight for the natural. There should be a recoil for Classic. As he's going for the natural base. Vikings can land. There's a recoil. Yeah, there's a recoil back home. Oh no! Yeah, the Immortal is going to be thrown away. Immortal goes down. Classic barely trying to hold on, but again, he's just being pulled apart because of what? Recall's on cooldown. Recall's on cooldown. We rally back towards the 4th base, and the force should not survive. Should not survive. Just too much momentum in favor of Percival. Too much momentum. Too much going his way. The base will go down. Catching at the observers. And last week it was Christiana that knocked down Classic. This time it's going to be Percival. Oh no. Knocks down the expansion. It's all or nothing for Classic, trying to catch up the army. Coming in for the surround. Running into Mice also. Yeah, wouldn't mind they pop off. Reinforcements on the way. Classic cannot afford these losses. Again, he's stuck on 3 bases. Classic, he has the worst economy. He's down in economy, down in army, down in every aspect. GG gets called, and Percival, he will take the series 2-1, advancing on to the grand finals. GG. Whew, GG, well played. Congratulations to Percival as he does claim the series. He will stop the PvP finals from becoming a reality. So very impressive play there. Again, winding it back. Classic, he took the go base, he had map control, but he was so committed to that first push, that first move out, and he took a very rough fight. I'm referring to the fight outside of the 3rd base within range of 3 tanks and was it 3 Widowmines as well. Percival, he had the high ground, took a very nice fight, and right after that, killed the War Prism. He killed the War Prism. There was no backstab. There was nothing threatening Percival. He was free to push, and Classic, he lost then and there. He could not defend his bases, could not maintain his 4th base, his natural, split apart. GG. GG, well played. Whew, and with that, we have our first finalist. We do have Percival. Percival does advance on to the finals, and the question becomes, who will face off against him? It is going to be a Protoss opponent, but will it be Trigger, or will it be a European Protoss? Let's go. Let us go. Let us find out. Exclamation mark. Be in the chat. Have a look at the back yourselves.